Hi there and welcome to Loopy Mabel Vintage Style Crochet. My name is Jane and hello to all my lovely subscribers. Thank you very much. I really do value your support, and if you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. If you love vintage and you love crochet, then this is the perfect channel for you. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be kept up to date with all the videos and tutorials that I bring out. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this vintage style gathered ruffled neck warmer. We've got one on the mannequin, and this is the one we're going to make in the tutorial. Really simple but really effective, really snug and very stylish. Just show you. This is literally just hot off my crochet hook this week. So if you want to crochet along with me, why not grab a 4.5mm hook and some double knit yarn and we'll crochet together. Right, so to make the gathered ruffle cowl, I'm going to use alpaca tweed double knit by Stylecraft. This colour is duck egg. It's 100g balls and it's got approximately 262 yards. And then I'm also going to be using, this is Stylecraft special double knit in the burgundy as the trim part, but you can use any double knit yarn, whatever you like, whatever you've got in your yarn stash, and it takes approximately 80 grams of the main colour and just a little bit for the trim and the tie. So that's all you need. I'm also going to be using a 4.5mm hook, some scissors, a tape measure just so we can measure as we're going along, and a stitch marker. If you're fairly new to crochet, I always recommend you using a stitch marker just so you can see the beginning and the endings of your rows or your rounds. So very useful to have. So let's begin. So I'm going to start off with the main colour and take our hook, and we just need to start off with our slip knot. So just make our slip knot whichever way you're used to doing. I do have a tutorial if you need to refresh. There we go. And we're going to chain 140 chains. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Right, so I've got 140 chains, and what we're going to do, we're going to join our chain to the first one to form our ring. Just run your finger along, just make sure it's not twisted like so. So just insert your hook and just pull through, pull through. So this tutorial will be in UK terms, so if you're watching from the US you need to be aware of that. So we're going to start off and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and that's going to count as our first treble. And we're going to go down into the next stitch. So down into the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook and work another treble, and then we'll just work another treble. So yarn over, down into the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to work trebles all the way along in every stitch right to the other end. So you should have 140 trebles in total, or if you're watching from the US, 140 double crochets. So if you continue around now, inserting your hook into every chain, working a treble, and I shall see you somewhere round about here to go on to the next round. Right, so I've got almost to the end of this row, so I've got a couple more to do. So just finish off these last 2 trebles. Right, so I've got to the end of my row, so I've got 140 trebles, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that 3 chain that we started off with, because that was our first treble. So you just need to count up 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into that 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through and pull through, and that completes our first row. And if you just want to double check that your work is not twisted at this point. If it is, this is the point you need to take it out and just untwist it and start again. Right, so we're going to move on to row 2 or round 2, and we're going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and we're going to work into that first stitch 3 incomplete trebles together. So yarn over, down to that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and do that 3 times. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through the 2, and you've got 4 stitches left on your hook. Yarn over and pull through them all. Chain 1, then we're going to skip 1, so we're going to skip that one there, and we're going to go down into the next one, and we're going to do exactly the same. So yarn over, down through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, back down through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, down, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, so you've got your 4 on there again, yarn over and pull through all 4, and then we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1, and we're going to repeat that again. So yarn over, down to the next stitch like so, working like 3 incomplete trebles, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, then chain 1, skip 1 and repeat. So we're going to work this all the way along. Then chain 1, skip 1, and then work 3 incomplete trebles into the next. So we're going to repeat this all the way around to the end, working 3 incomplete trebles, chain 1, skip 1, 3 incomplete trebles. So if you want to work all the way around, and I shall see you somewhere around about here, so if you want to pause the video and we'll catch up round about here. Right, so I've just done my last 3 treble cluster, so we're just going to chain 1, and then we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that first one we did. So just insert your hook into the top there and pull through, and you should have 70 of these clusters, 70 in total. Right, so we're going to move on to round 3, and we're going to be working in the chain spaces now. So we need to get across to there, so we're just going to slip stitch across just to get into position. So just insert your hook and just slip stitch across. One more time, so we're over that chain space like so, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 1 more, so chain 4 in total, and then we're going to go down, we're going to skip this cluster, and we're going to go down into that next space, yarn over and work treble, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go work down into that next space. So we're just going to ignore the clusters for this row. So chain 1 and then treble into the next space. So chain 1, skip that cluster, insert your hook into there. So yarn over and work your treble, yarn over, chain 1, down into the next chain space, and we're just going to repeat that all the way along. So this is quite a quick row. So chain 1, yarn over, down to the next chain space, work your treble, chain 1, skip the cluster, down to the next, work your treble, chain 1, treble, chain 1, like so. So all the way along, and this will create like an eyelet type of row, like so. So all we're going to do is repeat. So I've just got a couple more trebles to do, so I've chained 1 and I'm just going to insert my hook into that next space and work my treble, chain 1, and there we are back round to where we did the 4 chain at the beginning. So I just need to slip stitch into the 3rd chain, which is counts as our treble, and that 4th chain counts as the chain space. So I'm just going to insert my hook, so I'll count 1, 2, 3, insert my hook into the 3rd chain and slip stitch, closed. So these 2 rounds form the pattern. So all we're going to do is repeat these 2 rows again. So I'll just remind you what we did for the 2nd row, so rows 2 and 3. So we're going to work our 3 treble together cluster, and we're going to be working into the space there. So all we need to do is just slip stitch across so we're over that space. So I'm just going to slip stitch like so, and we're ready to start our first 3 treble cluster. So I'm just going to chain 1 and then yarn over, and then we're going to go down and work 1, 2 and 3 like so, yarn over and pull through them all, and there's our first cluster. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to go down into the next space. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, yarn over and pull through. So we're just going to repeat that all the way along. 3 incomplete treble clusters in every space, followed by a chain 1. And when we get to the end, we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that cluster, and then for the following row we're going to slip stitch across into that chain space, and we're going to chain 4, and then we're going to do a treble into every space, followed by a chain 1, skip the cluster and the treble into the next space. So we're going to continue on working rows 2 and 3 until we've got a total of 6 cluster rows done, including this one. So once you've completed your 6th 3 treble together cluster rows, then we shall go from there. So I shall see you at that point. So 6 in total of the treble cluster rows, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I've just repeated all those rows now, so I've just got one more of the 3 treble cluster to do, so I'll just finish that off. Chain 1 and just slip stitch to the top of that first cluster that we did of this round. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of the 3 treble clusters. So we've just completed that 6th row there. So to finish off this part of the cowl, we're now going to do a row of trebles like we did on the first round there. So just going to work in the tops of the stitches now for this final row. So I'm just going to chain 3, that'll be our first treble, and so we're going to go down into the next stitch. So it's the stitches along the top, those V stitches along the top we're going to be working in, not the chain spaces anymore. And we're just going to treble all the way along into the tops of those stitches now, and we should have 140 stitches when we get to the other end. So if you want to continue with the same, working trebles into every stitch, I shall see you somewhere around about here. We'll finish off this section and then we'll go on to the contrasting section. So I've come to the end of this last row of trebles in every stitch, so I've just got to slip stitch to the top of that 3 chain that we did at the beginning. So I'm just going to insert my hook into that 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, insert my hook, and slip stitch that close, and we're just going to cut our yarn and just pull it through, and that completes that section now. So now we're going to go on to the scalloped edge. So we're going to do exactly the same for both the bottom and the top, just like this one here. So we're just going to add the scalloped edge along both sides, so it'll be just a repeat of each other, and then we'll then go on to making that pretty little tie. So I'm going to change yarns now, and I've chose this burgundy. I just think it looks quite old-fashioned and vintage together, and that's, if you know me by now, that's the type of things I would go for. So we're just going to attach our yarn to either side, doesn't really matter, they're both going to be exactly the same. And you just need to attach your yarn. So select anywhere along. I'm just going to attach mine with a knot. And just bring the yarn through, and you're going to chain one, which doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to go back down to that very same stitch, and we're going to double crochet, and we're just going to double crochet all the way along in every stitch, so 140 stitches again. So if you want to continue on all the way around, working double crochets in every stitch, and I'll see you somewhere around about here, and then we'll go on to the scalloped edging. So I've just got a couple more double crochets to do, so we'll just finish them, and then we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet that we did. There we go, so that's our row of double crochet all the way around. Now next we're going to go on to the scalloped edging, and it's really simple edging. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, and then we're going to double crochet back down into that same stitch, and then we're going to skip two, 1, 2, and into that third one we're going to do 5 trebles. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Do that 5 times. Then skip 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet into the next, then skip 2, 1, 1, 2, then 5 trebles into the next, and that's all we're going to do all the way around. So if you're following along in this video, if you work all the way around now, repeating that pattern, and I shall meet you somewhere around about here, and I'll show you how we're going to finish off this row, and then you're just going to repeat the exact same row on the bottom edge here, because it's exactly the same. You're just going to turn your work and repeat it on there. But I shall see you somewhere around about here, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. So I've got to the end of this row now, and I've just got to skip 2, do a double crochet into the next, and hopefully I've got 2 more to skip. Near enough. Don't worry if you don't, if it's not spot on, skipping the 2 towards the end, because it's very forgiving. So it should work out pretty well all the way around. So I'm going to now skip what I've got left there, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet that we did, not the chain one, but the double crochet. Hope you can see, it's quite a bad colour to show you. Let me see if I can show you a bit better there. So we're going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet, not the chain but the double crochet. So just insert your hook and just slip stitch to close that round, and just need to snip our yarn and pull it through and tighten to complete your round. And there we have our scalloped edging. So we're just going to repeat exactly the same now on the other side. So if you remember, we attached our yarn. Now on the other side, this is this side now I picked is the bottom side. This is where we first started off, because there's the chain that we worked in right at the very beginning of the row, because obviously the work is that way up. So there's our chain that we started off right at the beginning. So we're going to work into these unused part of the chain for this round. So depending on whether you choose this round first or the other round, it doesn't really matter. But when you come to this side and you've got the unused part of the chain, so you're just going to insert your hook just into the unused part, like so. I'll show you sideways on. So you're just going to insert your hook into that unused part of the chain. So it's exactly the same. So I'm just going to attach my yarn anywhere around, doesn't really matter. Pull my yarn through. Just a simple little knot. And then just insert your hook, pull through, chain one, which doesn't count as a stitch, back down that same, and just a double crochet. And we're just going to pick up again all the way around with double crochet, like so. So we're just going to repeat that all the way around to the end. We're going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet, and then we're just going to repeat the same again that we did on the first row. So it's double crochet, skip 2, 5 trebles. So if you need to, you just need to rewind the video just to follow on where we did there, but that's all it is an exact repeat of this edge. So if you want to work all the way around, completing this round with double crochet, and then do your scallop edge, and then I shall then show you how to make the tie, and then our gathered ruffle neck warmer will be complete. So I've just come to the last section on this second side, so I'm just going to slip that last stitch or so there, and just going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet. So exactly the same as the other side, no different. Just trim the yarn and just pull through. So that's the two colours there. So now obviously we've got to sew in our ends, and then I'm just going to show you how we make this tie, which is so simple, really simple. And again with this contrasting colour, make our slip knot, and we're just going to chain 150 chains. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're just going to work all the way along till we've got 150 chains. Alright, so we've got 150 chains, and now we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go down into that 4th chain from our hook. We're going to do 4 incomplete trebles. So yarn over, go down into the 4th chain from our hook. So 1, 2, 3, into that 4th chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're going to go back down and do 3 more. So yarn over, down, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, go back down, yarn over, pull through 2 again, and 1 more. So yarn over, back down, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So you should have 5 loops on your hook. I'm just going to yarn over and pull through all 5 like so, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to work into the base of that first chain we did there. So we're going to work into there, and we're just going to repeat again, working 4 incomplete trebles. So you insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There's 2 on your hook, yarn over, back down. Repeat this till you've got 5 loops on your hook. So one more time. So we've got 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 5. And then we're just going to bring this over to that to create our little bobble on the end. So all we're going to do is bring your hook and insert it into the base there. So we're just going to insert our hook and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. And that creates like a little pom-pom. And all we're going to do now is work all the way down this chain, and we're just going to insert our hook and work double crochet. So we're just going to work all the way down, inserting your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and we're just going to double crochet all the way down these chains, 150 chains with double crochet. Right, so I'm just at the end of this tie, so I just got a couple more double crochets to go, and I'll just show you how to add the last pom-pom on the end, exactly the same as the other end. So I've got to the end, so all we're going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go down just into the end there, and we're just going to work incomplete trebles until we've got 5 loops on our hook, just the same as the other end. So one more, yarn over and pull through, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work incomplete trebles back down into the base of that till we've got 5 loops on our hook. And we're just going to bring it back down to close. Let's just insert our hook right at the beginning and just slip stitch, and just going to trim our yarn and just pull through just to tighten, and there is your other popcorn on the end, and obviously we just need to sew it in our ends. All the ends are stitched in now, so I'm just going to show you how to thread in your tie. So I'm just going to insert the tie into the second row there and just insert it anywhere you like. So you just need to pop it through and just thread it in and out all the way around. So you just thread it through like so, and then obviously you pop it around your neck and you gather it, tie it into a bow. There you have your vintage style gathered neck warmer, and just by changing the colours you get different effects. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial on how to make this gathered ruffle neck warmer. If you did, don't forget to give me that lovely thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, what you're waiting for, hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be kept up to date with everything that I do bring out. And I've got lots more vintage style ideas I'm going to bring out and share with you. There will be a PDF pattern as well. I'll put the link for this in the box below, so if you wanted to download that, that will be available for you too. I would love it if you could just pop your comments in the box below, anything you thought about this video, if you like this design, anything at all like that. And if you've got other crochet queries, pop them in that box below too, and I will get back to you, I promise. Practice does make perfect, and if you like to wear vintage style crochet, then this is the perfect pattern for you. And until the next time, as I always say, please take care and happy crochet.